A few years ago, I was introduced to the concept of an artist date when I was reading The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It's basically just designated time to give to your inner creative self. Usually done alone, but I don't think that's necessary. This past weekend, I went on a little artist date to go take some pictures and things around a city nearby, and I wanted to bring you guys along with me. I think one of the coolest things about artist dates is that they can be anything you want them to be. Do you just want to sit down and watch a movie? Do you want to just read a book? Like, it doesn't matter. I think what makes them special is the fact that it's like intentional time spent just being playful and creative and spending that time with yourself. Artist dates really help me avoid burnout. There's such a huge difference between spending your day doing nothing or doing something that's like creative or whatever, and intentionally setting aside time just to do something fun and creative. Like, I think when I'm just kind of laying around doing nothing, or I'm using creativity as a means to escape other things, other responsibilities, it doesn't really feel as rewarding at the end of it. But when I've set aside that time specifically to do something, I can enjoy it a lot more and just have fun with it. And I think that that's what makes artist dates special. Was a time I was an alligator swamp monster. Jumping in a river once or twice was enough for you. And the whole thing of like, oh, it needs to be alone time. Nah, that's some bullshit, man. Of course, if the way that you feel the most recharged is through like being alone and like that's what you need for your artist date, you're good. But if you gain inspiration from being around people, like, don't feel like you have to be alone. Like, I like having the time to take the pressure off of creating. I know I've talked about this in like a few videos, but it's good to have outlets that are creative, that don't have a paycheck attached to them. It doesn't have deadlines attached to them. It's just for the enjoyment of it. And I think that's especially important if you are pursuing some sort of creative outlet really seriously, because it's like the reason we wanted to do these creative things as like a job or as something that takes up a lot of our time is because of like the love that we have for it. And it's easier for it to become a stressful thing with a lot of pressure on it. So we need to almost double down with how much time we spend doing creative things that are not for anything. It's just for ourselves, so that we don't forget how much we love creating. When it comes down to it, an artist date is really just anything that's kind of nurturing your inner creative, your inner child. You can do finger painting. You can literally do anything. Yeah, that's the whole point. You can climb a tree. You want to climb a tree? Go on an artist date. Or you can just climb a tree and call it an artist date so that you sound like fancy. Oh yeah, no, I'm doing this for my artistic self-care. Can sound all like pretentious. Yeah, it's an artist date. I go on a date once a week with myself to climb a tree to connect with my inner creative. It's how all the greats do it. So I step out of bounds. I don't want this to change. Also because it is really in the spirit of self-care, I think it's also a good time to check in with yourself. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Yeah. What are your goals? What is, in acting, we talk about the want statement. What do you want in the scene? You can think about, like, what's my current want statement for life? What do I want out of my life right now? I've never thought about that. You can have a life want statement. It's really just a goal, but it's a fun way of saying it. But it's a good time to just check in with yourself, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're with like a friend or significant other, you can have that be like almost a check-in for each other, which is really just a date. You can still call it an artist date. I don't think that there should be a single rule around artist dates. I don't think there should be any pressure with it. I don't think there should be, like, nothing. No rules. Let's just make that clear now. Moving forward, artist dates have no rules. They can be anything you want them to be. And it doesn't matter. As long as you do them when you need them. And you don't sit around and... As long as you do them when you need them and you don't like sit around and put pressure on it, like, oh, I need to go on an artist date. I should be going on an artist date. Like, nah. You don't need to. But they are good. It's just a positive little thing.
I'm so